Okay, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Persick.
Here.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Here.
Alderman Evans.
Here.
Alderman Kerwin.
Here.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Here.
Alderman Tudor.
Here.
Alderman Studer.
Here.
7 present, 1 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Council, we got approval of the minutes for May 19th for you.
Mr. Mayor, I've reviewed the minutes, found no errors. I make a motion that we accept them as presented and place them on file.
We have a motion by Alderman Studer. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Alderman Larry Hall. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Evans.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent. Motion passes.
Mayor's report. You'll see printed on the mayor's report tonight just one announcement in regards to a tag day. It'll be Dad's Day, June 20th, 2015, from 8 o'clock to noon. We'll have that yearly thing done, Dads Against Diabetes, done by the IBEW. Those are big factors behind that, so that just to make you aware of things. A couple other things to report. The next meeting of the Wilmington Coalition will be next Monday, June 8th at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Park District Fitness Center. There'll be a potluck dinner and meeting afterwards, and all of the council members are invited. It looks like catering will be handled by the White Sox. Apparently they're not playing very well, and they got to go resort to catering.
Just for Tony.
All right, on a more serious note, I just got this press release from, well, I should say press release, got an email from Will County Governmental League in regards to the press release that was put out by Governor Rauner's office in regards to the Ileana. I'll read this verbatim and then I'll offer my viewpoints afterwards. Governor Rauner has released a statement below, which is basically a statement removing the Ileana from IDOT's plans and the current budget situation, which he also talked about. But in regards to Ileana, he's asked that IDOT, Hugh O'Hara from Will County Governmental League asked IDOT to, if the Ileana record of decision will be vacated, and they've indicated at this time that they are not going to vacate that decision. What that means is that while the project is pulled from IDOT's 5-year plans, the work done to this point remains valid for several years should the state decide at a future date to revisit this project. And therein lies our problem. What this becomes, and we're all very aware of what's happened with the Peatone Airport, how it's sat in limbo for 10, 15 years with nothing being done. Our fear is that this is going to become that next Peatone, so to speak, that this Ileana will lay in limbo. It will have such a significant negative impact on our community. It's worse than the Ileana being built, in my opinion, because now what you have is you have land that can do nothing. There's no growth potential. There's absolutely nothing going on because nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody will build there. Nobody will do anything there. So one thing I will work with staff over the next couple of weeks is, in my opinion, that we need to have put together a resolution. We'll also be getting together with other members that are affected, mayors that are affected along this route, community things. So we put together a resolution that basically tells the state, IDOT, governor, whoever, that if the Ileana is not going to be a project, that they need to vacate the entire project, including the record of decision. Because it does nothing to benefit the city of Wilmington to leave something sitting there in limbo forever. So we'll continue to work forward with that. On top of that, one of the big things that we look at from the city standpoint is the 129. We've also talked about the Illinois 129 interchange. And IDOT is in IDOT's 5-year plan to keep that 129 interchange regardless of what was happening to Ileana. We will also include language in that resolution to expedite that as much as possible. I think it's vital to our community for that, that 129 interchange come back. We know it's had an impact on our community as well as surrounding communities as far as access points and getting people off the interstate to come to our town from an economic standpoint. So we'll work towards that as well. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on with that, and we'll work with Tony and work with John on drafting a resolution together. Once we get that resolution together, my plan is to try to get it out to you guys before our next meeting. You guys can, interject any ideas or whatever as we're going through this, and then at the same time, I'll make Will County governmentally to where our decision is going to be, as well as other communities within the area, to let them know that this is just, to leave something in limbo is the worst. And we were told, and I'm sure a lot of you guys were at that initial meeting, and if that question was raised in a lot of the forums that I had, is that if this project doesn't go, what will happen to it? And we were basically told at that time that if the project doesn't grow wings, then it'll be dead. So it seems like there's been a change of opinion, so we want to make sure that they kind of stayed the course of their initial things, because I think that was one of the concerns that was raised early on in this, was whether we, what's going to happen to the project if it don't happen. So just to let everybody know what's going on with that. Lastly, one of the big things we have every year is our 4th of July fireworks. I've been in touch with ESDA, and very valid. ESDA has some strong concerns about having a 4th of July fireworks with the potential of not having that bridge done. We don't know if it's going to be done before then or not. So one thing I'd like to come before the council, if anybody has problems, is to actually move the 4th of July fireworks to Catfish Days. We tend to have Catfish Days fireworks on Friday night. We can move that, make that more of a city event. I should say a city business event. What I'd like to do is get the letters out that we have been doing in the past for donations from businesses, but we'll gear them towards fireworks on Friday instead of having fireworks on the 4th of July. I don't know if anybody had any difference of
The
opinion.
bridge will be done by then, Mayor?
We don't know. Well, the bridge should be done by Catfish Days.
Okay.
We don't know if it's going to be done by the 4th of July.
Right, so if we move it to, my concern is we move it to Catfish Days, are we gonna possibly have the same problem?
Well, I think if the bridge ain't done by Catfish Days, we're going to have a problem anyway, regardless. Because I hate to suspend Catfish Days for a bridge.
Right.
Looks like they were getting along pretty good on it. didn't they?
Yeah, they are getting along pretty good. We still think in our best interest, and even from a budgetarily standpoint, it might help us too. I know we had this discussion last year, if we, with the costs associated with the fireworks, if we continued on the 4th of July or we moved to Catfish Days. I can tell you just from us doing it for Catfish Days for several years, the cost associated with the same fireworks show for the 4th of July is probably half the cost. Or let's say, for instance, you're spending $10,000 on the 4th of July for fireworks, you get that same show for $5,000 outside of the 4th of July. It's much no brainer, but I think if we just kind of move that this year, we can have that debate next year whether we, for the 4th of July. But I know there was concern from our emergency personnel, so. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah,
People want to drive a bridge.
Yeah. It's a challenge, so. It's just something I guess we need to move forward with. I know it's that time where we have to determine whether we're gonna, we're a month away. We, gamble and have it on the 4th of July or we don't. We always do have a challenge with having personnel available to more or less man the 4th of July fireworks anymore. What it's basically become is just we do the fireworks and then everybody goes home. We used to have more events. I know surrounded on the Park District around years ago, we used to have bands, we used to have all kinds of stuff going on throughout the day, but it's kind of wasn't, so.
I'm in favor of all Catfish Days.
Everybody not in favor of it?
Do we have a backup plan just in case my favorite company don't have this done by then?
Yeah, the backup plan is we go with Catfish Days is scheduled. There's just too much going on with as far as contracts and everything else.
I have no problem doing it on Friday or whatever.
Yeah, I'll be on Friday, the 24th, Friday 24th.
Is there any other organizations or that are going to be hurt by it that we know of?
Outside of the Lions Club is the only one that really does anything. And they pretty much just do ice cream. And basically what happens is they do about an hour's worth of heavy work because, we really have nothing else going on for the 4th of July. It's nothing more than fireworks. The people come down to the island. As the, would collect money for parking and stuff like that. We kind of help in their coffers. But they were the ones that really approached me, as was the ones that approached me about their concerns. They have no problem with moving it to Catfish Days. So outside of those two entities, really there's nobody else that really benefits, so to speak, or is going to be hurt by moving it.
Don't they do a big tournament?
Used to.
Yeah, they used to have a
Was that the softball?
tournament.
Okay, that was
They
the
used to have a
softball.
fire
Yeah, I thought
director
they were doing a beer garden now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had a beer garden now for 4 years, and we haven't had a softball tournament for, I think, 5 or 6. So it's been a while. Like I said, it's just fireworks and nothing. If it was, I think it was more than that, Frank, if it was more of an event, a daytime event, where you had stuff going on throughout the day, you had organizations that, really did things, I think the consideration would be a lot different. But when all we do is fireworks and nothing else.
Sport falls on Saturday.
Yeah, so that's what we're kind of looking at. So,
What exactly is their concern? Just moving the vehicles away from the island after the fireworks?
well, their overall concern is just traffic in general.
And also safety of the people.
And if
The
an
bridge is
emergency,
still under
yep.
construction, a lot of the people will have to manage that too, because people will go in the construction area and just watch the fireworks. They're concerned about that.
They have all those people parked
Plus-
South Island
plus with
walking
that,
across too.
With the number of people you have in that small area, if there's an emergency, there's an issue with getting emergency vehicles in a timely manner back and forth across the bridge as well.
Yeah, which we have.
Right,
Well, I
and
saw
there's
that the
problems
other
now,
day,
so
I
it's
was
only gonna
going, I was
get worse.
going to Porcott's, and I was stuck at the light, and the fire ambulance was coming, and people were coming north, and you couldn't move.
Yeah.
The ambulance stood there, I timed it, it was like 22 seconds before they could get over that bridge.
They were stopping on the bridge.
They were stopped, they stopped, and they couldn't go anywhere, so I
So
mean.
the ambulance could pass them, they were stopping on the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, you gotta be kidding me, right? This ain't happening. I won't look.
Well, it's nature, everybody thinks they got to go right when they see the animals,
Yeah.
but not realize that
There's
they
no
can't
place.
Yeah, there's no place to go.
Common sense is playing roles in this.
I think the bridge is gonna be done, but if you want to plan right, and you sign a contract with this group, I think it's best, it's prudent probably to just get it passed.
You gotta have a backup.
And just catfish, I think the bridge will be totally done by then.
And we've had generous support from the businesses anyway, and I think it'll help. So, we'll just move it this 1 year and see what happens.
Okay.
That's my concern, is that the businesses be upset, because they could double dip, with the fireworks and then Catfish Days also.
Well, sometimes what's been the challenge is, as far as donations from businesses, from like a Catfish Day standpoint, their money tends to go a lot farther for Catfish Days because it's more advertised. And that's from a business standpoint, that's kind of what we're looking for. And in the past couple of years, we've kind of asked, them that they donate to both, which is, for small businesses, challenging. Now it kind of helps where they're only having to donate to the one event, and then they'll get their, I think, especially because we do banners with the business names and everything else, we post like fireworks, and just like we do for Catfish Day. But, as well as I do, during the festival, the amount of people that are cooperating. So from a business standpoint, the visibility with their name out there is much more well-received, much more received by more people during a whole weekend event, because we'll have it up there all weekend, rather than having it up there for 2 hours for 4th of July and then taking down, that's all we've got.
Yeah, I wasn't referring to the donations, the public coming into town and shopping and eating at their establishments.
Yeah, what
That's, they're gonna take a big hit on that, is what I would think.
it could,
If it's, council thinks it's the right thing to do.
it could,
They're taking a big hit right now. With the bridge, the way it is right now,
Nobody wants to come
they're
down.
taking a big hit right now.
Yeah.
and Joe, I wish we could do more for 4th of July than just have fireworks, it just takes a while, it's just kind of- And maybe, sometimes when you, they say sometimes when something's not there for a year, people take notice of it, and sometimes that helps when you're doing it the following year. What can we do to make it better? Okay, and where you market that, especially for your not-for-profit groups, and volunteer agencies, within town, to where they can, because the more you have in numbers, the better you can do things, make more things. So, maybe that will kind of help stir that, and spur that to where we can really make the 4th of July an event, if it's just a one-day event or, a day and a half event, really make it something that more than just fireworks. That's all we have right now. A lot of people, they just come and sit for a watch fireworks.
Yeah, this year wasn't a good year for that too, because the 4th is on Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. And we've traditionally never had it on the 4th just because of cost. Because of cost associated with it. We found out that they would have helped with last year. Last year when I found out talking with the actual people that do the fireworks. We spent like $11,000 on to do it on the 4th. Well, we decided to do it on the 3rd or the 5th or whatever. Okay, that same show for $11,000, and went down to $9,000 because it's not on the 4th. So prices change when it's not on the actual 4th. So sometimes that's why for years where
They gouge you because they can.
well, yeah, it's their busiest day. They got all these people out there doing their stuff. They got
They all want to come.
And traditionally, what would happen in all the years, well, it's been a long time, when I was on the park district, we never had it on the 4th. Really for two reasons. One, cost. The two, when we had it like the weekend before, 3 or 4 days before the 4th of July, how many people are doing it? So your numbers are great. You have more people coming to the event. Where if you have it on the 4th, there's 50 towns having it on the 4th. And they get to pick which town they want to go to. So sometimes that's where the benefit is, not having it on the 4th, is have it on this day. All right, so we'll work on that. I'll work with Joey with getting stuff out for businesses. Good. All right, citizens' comments? Any citizens' comments tonight? Nothing? Speechless? All right, Planning and Zoning Commission, their next scheduled meeting is Thursday, July 9th at 6 o'clock. Committee reports, building grounds, parks and safety, Alderman Persick, Alderman Van Dyne.
Mr. Mayor, the next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, June 10th, 2015 at 6:30 p.m.
Water, sewer, streets, and alleys, Alderman Studer, Alderman Kerwin.
Mr. Mayor, next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, June 10th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m.
Police and ESTA, Alderman Studer, Alderman Tudor.
Mr. Mayor, next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, June 9th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m.
Finance, Administration, and Land Bank, Alderman Studer, Alderman Tudor.
I move to approve the June 2nd, 2015 accounts payable report in the amount of $446,885.06.
A motion by Alderman Tudor, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Studer. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Tudor?
Yes.
Alderman Studer?
Yes.
Alderman Evans?
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne?
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall?
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin?
Yes.
Alderman Persick?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent. Motion passes.
I move to approve the proposal submitted by Southwest Mechanical Incorporated for the new HVAC equipment at the other building in the amount not to exceed $6,200.
A motion by Alderman Tudor, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Kerwin. Any discussion?
Can someone refresh me on this one? Is this those bids that we had before?
No, actually, what happened is about 2.5 weeks ago, the air conditioner didn't have any cooling in it at all. So they called out Southwest, the one that's been doing all the mechanical work on it. They called them out, and basically, it's on this last night, which we all knew it was. So they came back to Dennis and said, we can put some freon in it, it'll probably work for about 30 days. Our bid is still good, we submitted. And then if we do get the bid, we won't charge for the service call and the freon, which is about $350. Opinion on it. And so if they approve the bid, we don't get a charge on the service call and the freon used for that. So it's the same bid that they had before.
Were these guys the lowest one before?
No, we're not. Base air was about $450, I think. Pull it up to $40 less. But they didn't have the, Southwest has added, they added an extra warranty up to 5 years, but Breezer has had 1 year. So they, Southwest actually gives a warranty beyond the manufacturer's warranty. They give their own warranty for 4 more years for the mechanical.
So if you're looking at it between the service call and the AC unit, it would be just them waiving that fee, it's gonna be just about what the reserve was gonna be,
Yeah,
at.
you
Plus
probably-
we're getting a longer warranty.
Yeah, getting a longer warranty and, you know, well, it's, yeah, $100 difference. We're still spending a little more.
Wasn't the warranty on labor and not on the machine?
It's 5-year labor and
1 year on the,
one 5-year, should be on the bid.
So it's 5-year parts.
5-year parts.
Parts and labor.
Parts and labor.
Parts and labor.
Reserve is just parts.
Yeah.
and what they did so far is they said they wanted to get the bid.
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Tudor?
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin?
Yes.
Alderman Persick?
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall?
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne?
Yes.
Alderman Evans?
Yes.
Alderman Studer?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, motion passes.
Thank you.
Next, scheduled meeting is Tuesday, June 16th at 6 PM.
All right, ordinance license, Alderman Hall, Alderman Evans.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there will be a second reading and ordinance adding provisions to Chapter 96 of the Wilmington Code of Ordinances. And there will be another second reading and ordinance adding provisions for dumpster enclosures. And then another second reading for an ordinance amending Article 2, Chapter 32 for voting inspector.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Just read the
The
whole thing.
second reading is Tuesday, June 9th, 2015 at 6 o'clock p.m.
Personnel collective bargaining, Alderman Hall, Alderman Persick.
Nothing, but we got executive session on land acquisition.
City Administrator report, Mr. Graff.
But just a reminder, we have this budget workshop on Thursday at 6 PM. What's basically prepared is we would do this in a couple of phases that we normally do. We'll do the water and the sewer funds, so we'll have all that discussion. So the meeting will probably be, could be done in less than an hour, because we, Jack and most superintendents have done a real good job, and they've also provided 5-year plans and everything else. So we're real comfortable with their budgets, and we've got to present those to you. And then we'd like to have a second workshop the following week for the corporate, general corporate. We're still working with some of the budget costs for the new police station. We're running those numbers now because we got some operating costs to plug in. And we also got a challenge with the state of Illinois' budget, so we're trying to address that too within the corporate, so we can balance.
Make sure you pick a day with no game.
Yes,
Thank you.
I would say
Well
the
said.
following Thursday will probably be no game on the schedule. By this Thursday, we'll have a game.
If so, we'll just change it.
Right.
I'm out of town on business.
They got all 7 games.
You got tickets to the game, that'd be out of town.
And then Gary wanted to let everyone know that him and Colby have been working on the Kalo Road solutions out there. They were able to get what they basically call one of those grinders that Custer Township let us borrow, so they could actually grind the road out up at Kalo Road up there with all the gravel. They were able to grind down a good couple of feet, at least get it all grind up and get it more rock put in, level it all off again and roll it. So they finished all that today. So if you drive up Kalo Road, it's pretty flat. They're gonna wait a couple days, and then they'll probably go out one more time, and then they'll put that calcium chloride, which they put on top of it afterwards for the dust, and also it helps harden up the road a little bit. They're trying to work with one of the townships for a ditch.
Ditch witch?
Yeah, well, no, it's just to grind the ditches into so that the water will flow better to clean them up.
That's been the biggest problem, is the water.
Yeah, Florida.
They shot some grades today. They think they know 2 spots that are high. One is actually west on the Forsyth Wood entrance. It's just flat there, and then it drops off real quick, so it looks like from years of boating and things like that, that's sort of got a lip there. So the culvert there is really not flowing right. And then they got another spot they found up near the farm field area, just east of where Butcher's at.
Well, we got issues with that culvert. Is they gonna reach out to the forest preserve?
They did. We got a permit from them to sort of redo the work on the culvert on Butcher Lane, is the one that's bad. That was just up about 6 inches too high. So they're gonna work with the Forest Preserve on that, get the lower down. It's gonna be a joint effort. You know, we're gonna offer up our paving machine and we'll go out there and help pave it after they dig it up and reset it. So that'll help out with that Butcher Road one.
They're gonna run a grade all and try to get the ditches done, or has he got a plan?
Yeah, they're gonna, I think they're actually gonna try to talk to our favorite guys.
They've got several of them, they might help them out.
Yeah, they sort of, well, they said for us, Loudon used a lot there, that, you know, hey, we come up with something we can help you with, so.
Yeah, Tim probably had to help.
There it
Gage on
is,
stage.
exactly.
They did,
Really
it helped on
great
stage,
old
it helped with the project, you know, timeliness too, so that's why we said it'd be a good idea, but we'd like you guys to repay us one day, and I think this will be one of the repays, is to have them go out and grind the ditch out with that grade all.
Well, they get a grade all in a semi there one day, and they
It'll be
straighten
done.
it right out. They
Yeah,
have it running.
it'll scrape it right out, and it'll work great, so. So we get the Taylor Road going, and get that project done, and he's got, Kobe's actually working with him, with Gary and the crew on doing a more priority for the next 6 weeks for some of the public works projects. That we get them in a timely manner to get these things done before Catfish Days. And then hopefully you'll have another big windstorm like we had this last year, where it really killed a lot of our public works projects for 3-4 weeks leading up for the windstorm. So at Wausau, they're gonna bring in a little bit of a true schedule of projects, so see what they do for the summer.
Did they hire their part-timers yet?
They hired 2. One individual, he's a jewel right now. And he's.
They were out today cutting.
Yeah,
He's a jewel.
yeah, he's real good. He's real good. Oh, yeah, he's real good.
That helps.
Well,
He reminds me a lot of Larry from what
yeah, he was in the Navy.
Where are we at with the PD?
That's a good thing.
Yeah. We're, gotta switch over date on next Wednesday, right, for the polls? Tuesday.
Moving next Tuesday?
Tuesday and Wednesday, so.
Outstanding.
we're,
Chief's been standing guard and I'll let the officers in there to pick their lockers, so. They're itching.
The video's on, so we're watching.
It's, actually, you know, I hadn't been in there since February, when it was, you know.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a big
You were
difference.
shocked.
I went in there last Friday, and, yeah, the amount of work they've done is tremendous. You know, I'm sure our police officers will be very happy to call it home for the next 30 or 40 years. So, but it's coming together real nice. Still got the phase 2 that they gotta finish up, but I don't think that's gonna prevent them from, you know, moving in,
So you'll be
Chief, can
functioning
we-
out of there in a week?
Chief, can we take another quick walkthrough at some point?
Absolutely.
Just contact you and,
Over any day.
Well, I think once we get the guys settled and we get phase 2 done, what I'd like to do is just do some type of general open house, inviting the public in, and stuff like that. We'll have to coordinate with the chief, and do some type of general thing. So, I mean, you know, we could say all we want, that it doesn't cost taxpayers any money, but it's still a taxpayer's bill. So I think we'll work out something like that, and we'll go from there. But I think what we should do is let's get all the work get done, let's get it cleaned up, let our guys get kind of settled in there, and then let's do it, you know, just go open house, and go from there.
so there's a light at the end of this very, very, very long tunnel.
Yeah, we're there.
Yay.
We can probably have to switch to turn that light off pretty soon. And we did give notice to the medical facility next door. They always told us that once the building was getting ready to be occupied, they would take care of the parking lot. So I sent them a request to Summer Cross and Primary Care. We got a response back immediately. They're going to contact the pavers that are going to do our parking lot addition, and thought that maybe, as we always said, they should probably work with our contractors, because if they're there already, they probably do your lot for a good price. Yeah. So we got a response back already that they're, that we contacted them and try to get a lot done before we do an open house. I sort of gave a tentative that the open house will probably be the next 30 days, or try to get them moved. Because they do have some failure in their parking lot, if you look at it. And they want it cleaned up. They say the building's looking great. So that's it.
All right. Attorney's report, Mr. Urban?
Thank you.
Since the last meeting, I did send a letter to a property owner whose property was not in compliance with the city's ordinances in regards to a business not having a paved driveway and parking lot. So I have already received a response, and I hope to report on the case in the future concerning compliance.
Is that one that we were talking about? Out on Davy Lane?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you find the information on the other one, Clementine's?
No, we haven't yet. But I think we're just going to take a position,
Okay.
let them come back and tell us, you know, they have some documents that say they're in compliance with what suitable documents are.
Well, you found a permit, right? Okay.
But that's not unusual.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have records. So,
Okay, so you're still on it, that's it,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
okay.
That is there, Mr. Urban?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hall, will you do that?
Yeah. I make a motion to move into executive session at 7:33 PM for matters of land acquisition.
A motion by Alderman Hall, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Evans, can you roll call vote, please?
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 absent, motion passes.